Hello everyone, it's Friday and I'm just coming to you with a couple of extra psychic development points, some things that just came to me and I thought I'd like to share them with you before I head out for a good friend's birthday lunch. And so I hope a couple of you will jump on here and see this live. If not, maybe you'll look at it after the fact. So anyhow, there's a couple things that I feel are really important when it comes to psychic development. Number one is our foundation and our preparation. I kind of lump them together. But really, the information that we receive as psychics is much more accurate, more actionable. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Lindsay. The information we receive as psychics is really much more useful, accurate, useful, actionable, whatever. It means something to us when, number one, we have a really good foundation underneath us for the information, and number two, when we are prepared properly. Because I don't really believe that anybody should just walk around completely open all the time to receiving whatever. I think it's important that we have kind of like an open and closed sort of switch with our psychic abilities. It's not, in my opinion, it's not a good idea to just start rhyming off things that come up to, for you with people. That is really not energetically good boundaries at all by any means. Hi, Lilac. So really, hi, Deborah. Give me some hearts, some thumbs up. Like and share the video if you enjoy it. So anyhow, and I want to make one announcement before I get into my points, and that is that I'm going to be doing a live Q&A on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, the 29th at 5 p.m. Pacific. I did make a post about it on the Animal Alchemy page, which is the one you're watching me on right now, and I hope you can all make it, and I want you to think about your questions that you'd like me to answer. The topics are animal communication, psychic development, and healing, so I'm here to answer all your questions that day. So anyways, I talked about the foundation, I talked about boundaries a little bit. It's really important to have boundaries around what you're going to do. You don't want to be holding on to all of the information of every being that you come in contact with. You don't want to be picking up information from every single being that you come in contact with at all times. I mean, it would really lead to burnout. It could lead to poor health. It could lead to all kinds of things. Hi, Janet. Glad to see you here. So a couple of things I want to just share. There's a time and a place for, your psychic hits that you're going to be getting. And you are the one who is in control of that, and that is really, really important. You need to have your own time when it's just you and your energy field for your own boundaries and for the boundaries of others. So, when I tune in with someone, I can pick up things on them, information I can see, hear, feel, know information about them, relay it to them, and at the end of it all, I close it down. It's like, it's like shutting your computer down at the end of the day, or, turning off your oven when you finish cooking something. You don't want to just leave that open. Energetically, it could be really difficult for you. So then you're back in your own, field, and you're processing and feeling your own things. Because just think about it. Let's say you were in touch with 5 different people psychically, or 5 different animals psychically in one day, and then the end of the day comes, and you have all of the, you haven't closed down kind of and after each being, and you've got all of that energy, coming at you. They're different emotions, they're different thoughts, they're different, their pains if you're clairsentient in their body. So in your body. So you don't want to feel all of that, trust me. It's really, really important. So I made a couple of little notes here, and I wanted to share something else. One of the biggest ways that I see psychic information, it's not the biggest, but it is one of the ways. Oftentimes I'll just hear it talk directly into my left ear, and then I'll know that, that's clairaudience, and I'll know it's coming from their guides, my higher self, wherever it's coming from. You can learn to decipher where that is from. But one of the big ways that things happen for me psychically is that there's a spotlight. I call it the spotlight effect. So when someone's asking me a question, I can see, you know, especially if it's about choices, I can see the choices laid out in front of me. Like, you know, maybe it's even choosing 4 different puppies or from 4 different puppies. And I see a spotlight on the one. It is a form of clairvoyance. It's a specific technique within clairvoyance that happens for me. You can ask to receive your information the way you want to. You may not currently be, and what I find is that each of us has a propensity for receiving information a certain way, and it kind of moves through different ways as we develop a little bit more psychically. So I have something called the 3 paths for developing your animal communication or psychic gifts through, you know, in my training programs, and I actually tune into each individual and see which way is their easiest way or the best way for them to focus, to have the easiest breakthrough. So I want to talk about something else that is kind of something I've noticed in the decades I've been training others in this, and it's been like since the early 90s, so 25 plus years now that I've been training people. That really tells you why I have gray hair. I've been around a while. Some people have told me that they're not clairvoyant because they never see anything. Excuse the noise in the background. My dog is scratching my area rug to find a comfortable spot, and it could go on forever. She usually scratches forever and then goes and lays somewhere else. So I'm not quite sure of her logic. It's a little skewed. Anyways, and I have a fan running because it's really hot here today. So anyways, so some people feel that they're not actually clairvoyant because they don't see things in their minds, like in their thoughts or how they feel. They don't feel like they're seeing things. And what I wanted to share was, for many, many clairvoyants, the way they see things clairvoyantly is not the way we see things physically exactly. It's more the way we would visualize something within, or imagine something, or, you know, like a mind movie kind of thing. Something that goes on, like if I said visualize your dog right now, most of you guys would have a sense of what your dog looks like, if you have a dog, of course, or your cat or your horse, or, you know, your spouse or your sister or brother or whatever. So the way that we see things psychically is sometimes very, very different, and for me it is, than the way I see things. I'm looking out a sliding door window right now onto the mountains, and there's a lot of green here in Arizona because we're in monsoon season, and we've had a bang-up monsoon season, so we've got lots of green, lots of weeds too. My gardener's coming this weekend, thank goodness. So when I see psychic information, it's not like that exactly. It's like within the mind. And sometimes it's even on, like it's not, sometimes it's like it's on television, but sometimes it's also just like a specific thing coming up on a gray or a white screen, you know, so it's not always, when I say Technicolor, it is usually in color, but it's not like looking at out my window here. It's a little bit different. So we can see with our eyes psychically, we can see with our mind. We can hear with our ears psychically, or we can hear with our mind. So, you know, there are times psychically where the information comes in so loud, like don't park there, or don't go to this restaurant, or whatever it is. And, you know, I've shared in some of my videos how in the middle of the night, the first night that Jigs crossed over, my golden retriever Jigs in 2007, he barked so loud, I literally jumped out of bed. That was more of an in my ear kind of encounter. Yet, a lot of my psychic encounters, hey, Tammy, welcome. I'm Canadian too, but I happen to be lucky enough to be in the Sedona, Arizona area. So we can hear with our ears psychically, but we can be clairaudient and hear it more inside our head, almost like how we would talk to ourselves, or how, you know, if we were kind of, you know, singing a song in our head, but we were somewhere and we couldn't say it out loud or whatever. That kind of hearing can happen, but yes, you can get it with your physical ears. You can have a feeling if you're clairsentient, you can have a feeling with your body, but you can, like a physical feeling where, you know, I've tuned into some animals and felt a pain somewhere. It's sort of like the spotlight effect, but I actually feel where the pain is, like a hip or a shoulder or whatever it is. I feel a real sensation in my body momentarily. I ask that it not stay for too long, just long enough to let me know what it is and, you know, talk about it with the client. But I can also feel a feeling in a client with my mind. So somehow the feeling is coming into me, but it's not as physical, but it's still as relevant psychically, if that makes any sense to you. And that goes with emotions and physical, sensations. I talked about the spotlight effect. Another thing I wanted to share was, the society is advancing. You know, everyone is psychic. It's just a matter of developing it for themselves and really having awakening and being open to it and allowing it to come through, and then practicing and finding systems and methods to use to be able to open your psychic gifts. So, you know, one of the things that I was thinking about, you know, back when I was in school, we had to read a book called 1984, and that was way in the future, which really tells you my age. And it was all about, you know, the way things were going in the world, and we're heading into more and more psychic like more and more people are becoming aware, or waking up to their psychic abilities, and then and all of society is changing, and computerization was a part of it. And now the cell phones, the way our cell phones have gotten, they're really preparing us for this. I mean, we're talking in symbols with each other, with our emojis and stuff. I mean, half of the texts, you know, probably have emojis to make up for what people are going to say. That's how psychic information is transferred, like quickly, like a text, and it's a bit of information that I have that I send to you, or that you have that I receive. So just really become aware that, boy, Carly's really having a hard time finding a place to lay down. Carly, go lie down, please. She just wants to scratch the rug and scratch the rug. I hope it's not too noisy. Maybe you guys can't even hear it. So think about how information is relayed now, just in day-to-day life. You know, it began with emails instead of letters, and then it went to, you know, cell phone calls, and then text, and now it's almost like emojis, and soon it'll get shorter and shorter and shorter, but it's like that transfer of information back and forth. So I want you to think of, when you receive information, realize that it just comes whooshing in like a text. It goes, your information you're sending goes whooshing out like a text, and you are, whether you know it or not, and whether you feel psychic or not, you're already being primed. You are psychic for sure, but you're also already being primed to awaken more and more to it. So I wanted to share that little bit. I hope everybody enjoyed the video, and I want to remind everyone that I have a Facebook Live Q&A scheduled for Wednesday the 29th of August at 5 p.m. Pacific, and I'm going to be answering your questions. So I did make a post about it. If you would like it and share it, I would be very appreciative of that. And please come with your questions. I'm looking forward to it. The more questions we have, the better this live is going to be for everyone. So I look forward to it, and I shall see you all later. Abundant blessings, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.